Hey, good morning. Dr. Shetlin here with you this morning, and just want to give a shout out to doctors, attorneys, and patients in general. Always trying to help all of us move along with good, positive thinking. My topic today, I listened to a great conversation, a great talk this week. I love to seek out truth from a variety of religions, Buddhism, general Christianity, LDS stuff. And I heard a great talk on LDS talk on this topic this week, and also one from Joel Orstein that was really awesome, talking about how sometimes in life things just happen. We lose a loved one or a child, or an accident happens where we get injured, or we lose some finances through a business dealing or something like that. And most of us are like, why me? Why me? And I love the perspective that he took and the great scriptural references that he gave on how sometimes stuff just happens, and we all have our lessons to learn here in this life. And one of the biggest lessons I think to learn is to own our part in stuff so that we can actually move forward, or own it enough that we can ask for help to then move forward. Because some of us, we just play the blame game. Blame. Oh, woe is me. I'm here because of this person or that person or whatever. And I've got a really strong personal story with this that I want to share if you're okay listening. I haven't shared this with too many people, at least not video-wise. But anyway, he uses some really good scriptural examples, like Joseph sold into Egypt, 13 years in prison and slavery and this, but he just kept plugging forward, doing what he knew was right, and just being faithful. And next thing you know, he's the leader of Egypt and has much more power and influence to help those that he cares about. The light is always brighter on the other end, but sometimes we have to pass through those things. And we can't always control what experiences we face in this life, but we can always choose how we react to those experiences. So I'm going to just share my personal story. I hope that you guys don't mind. But years ago, back in early 2000, I was starting a practice, young in practice in St. George, had a nice business that was a medical and chiropractic supply company that was headed up in Oregon. I was way down in St. George, and I would have to travel quite a bit for that company, plus trying to build my practice and support my small family in St. George. And we had 3 kids. My wife, bless her heart, she's by some standard handicapped. She's completely deaf, can't hear a thing, but just an angel in the flesh. And she's helping. We're pushing through this stuff, and all of a sudden, a series of things just went wrong in life. And all I can say is I'm no stranger to uncomfortable circumstances, and certainly we don't seek those out. But I'm grateful for the ones that I have had to help me be able to deal with things better in my life and be able to share more things with you, because I certainly wouldn't be successful in practice these days, and teaching doctors and attorneys and writing books for patients and stuff to try to help more people wrap their head around positive thinking and how that attracts more positive things in our life, and how to deal better with money and those kind of things, if I hadn't been through these things where I lost everything. I mean, bear with me in this story. Literally, we lost it all. So early in 2001, I find out that our bookkeeper up in Oregon that was hired by my partner for that company was embezzling from us. And she was writing checks to herself, but putting them in QuickBooks, that she was writing them to the loan that I had injected into the business. My bank keeps calling me going, hey, how come you're not paying these loan payments? We're going to have to take you to collections or ruin your credit and all this stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about? Check number so-and-so. I'd log into the computer and everything looked okay. But we just kept having problem after problem. So finally I had some forensic accountant go through up there and find her shredding all kinds of stuff. And we find out that she'd had a gambling problem, and she was using my business credit card for her gambling habits and paying her son's speeding tickets. And she bought a cruise on the money that she embezzled from us. After 9 months of investigation and going through the court system, she's found guilty of embezzlement for $38,000, which was devastating, but not as devastating as her stealing my identity and ruining my credit, where now me and my family would suffer for the next 7 years. Where shortly thereafter, my software at my practice crashed, and we lost all of our accounts receivable. Didn't know who owed us what. We know it was somewhere in the 50 to 90,000 range, gone overnight. And these problems just keep hitting us. And then I have a son born, and the insurance didn't want to cover, and he had ended up with meningitis, and that led to cerebral palsy. And the insurance was washing their hands of us. It was just a nightmare. These bills were coming in, and all these frustrations were happening. And so now I've got a handicapped wife and a handicapped kid, and no help in sight. And my partner decides, this is too stressful after almost a year of us trying to play catch up from all these problems that happened. And so he just flees and moves out of town. And so I'm stuck with all of this burden. And the building that we were in, we were supposed to be buying by this time, and we were in no position. I was in no position to buy it, and so the owners was like, well, if you can't buy it, I'm going to sell it to this other guy. I'm like, all right, well, that's all we can do. So I just needed some fresh energy. I was just really drained after all these problems that were going on, all this financial stress and family stress. I spend the weekend, I bring in a new doctor, I spend the weekend, we repaint, we remodel, we redecorate, we're trying to get some new fresh energy in here on this 3-day weekend, Memorial Day weekend. We come in on Tuesday, woo, let's hit the ground running, let's go. And the new landlord kicks us out because he wants that facility for himself. And so then we had to move the office all of a sudden, which of course stops all your insurance payments because now you have a new address, and that just cog in the wheels. It's just completely a nightmare. Just at the end of my rope, I'm ready to I'm pulling my hair out here as just everything's going out from under me. Literally driving over to cause harm to this person that just kicked us out. That's how in a bad place I was. And literally the universe, the spirit, however you want to look at it, hit me so hard I had to physically pull over my truck. And I'm like hyperventilating and just trying to figure out. And this still peaceful voice or whatever just says, be patient, give it a couple weeks. You'll see there's light at the end of the tunnel. I'm in tears. I drive home and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. What could possibly be? I mean, we're losing everything here. And for our last hurrah with my other company from Portland, I was going to Europe to do a presentation of the medical equipment and chiropractic equipment. So I'm in Greece, and while we're there, I meet a gentleman, a doctor, who says, look, I want you to come. I'm looking for somebody to come work in Portugal. It has these list of traits. And I'm like, what? That's interesting. I have all those traits. And so my wife and I discuss it, and we're flying home, and it just felt right that that's what we needed to do. I know it sounds so glamorous when people read my resume. Oh, yeah, you practiced in St. George, you practiced in Europe, and now you're... it was a certain turn of events that weren't so positive that led to these things. But I came and looked at the very office that I still am in today in South Jordan, and I didn't feel it was far enough away from the problems in St. George that I was facing, where I just had so much negative energy and animosity towards people and just felt so wronged by everything, the universe and everything. And so when this opportunity popped up to go to Portugal and it felt right, we did. And we lost. Of course, I had to file bankruptcy because of all these things. And with filing bankruptcy, I lost ownership to the business that I helped build up from nothing to something up in Oregon, let the practice go for pennies on the dollar. And we moved to Europe. And it was, in hindsight now, I can say that was one of the best things that ever happened to our family. Yet it would have never happened without these series of negative events. So I spent all this time over in Europe, waking up early, exercising in the morning, listening to self-help books, studying scriptures in the morning, going to work, and I had to rebuild myself. I was literally broke and a broken man when I arrived there because everything had gone so wrong, and my whole thinking was stinking thinking. But over the course of that time, I started to retool and relearn, and I remember a really powerful message from Dr. Wayne Dyer, who says so many people anchor to something in their past, some negative experience, and they drag that with them all through their present and future. He goes, the wake behind the boat has nothing to do with where the boat is going. You're in control of steering where that boat's going to go. So live in the present, look ahead to the future, and don't dwell on the past. And it was a really powerful, one of the powerful components that helped me change gears to where I feel like I can help others today. The other part that really hit me was learning to forgive, and because I was just carrying all this animosity of this darn woman up in Oregon just ruined my life. If she hadn't embezzled and stole my identity, then I could have saved my practice because I could have got a loan to bail it out when the software crashed and all these, I could just take it back to a couple of things, but particularly that. And when I finally said, you know what, I've just got to forgive this woman, because if I don't forgive her, I'm the one that's really hurting it. She doesn't even know the anguish that I'm going through right now. She's probably just, who knows what she's doing, but she's not affected as much as I'm affected right now. Oh, by the way, she got 2 weeks in jail for stealing all that stuff and ruining me and my family's life for 7 years. So is the universe fair? Is the court system fair? Rarely. But we're here to learn hard lessons. The key things I want you to get out of this is learn to forgive and move on, because when you forgive someone or something that's anchored in your past, it's helping you far more than it's helping them. It's not maybe you're forgiving them, but the release that gives you to move forward in a positive way is huge. And then you open doors where other things can come positively into your life to help you overcome those. So over the course of that time, that healing time in Portugal, which was fantastic with the culture and the people, and the doctor that I worked with was just a gem of a human being, we were able to come home and get things back going. And even the first couple of years home was still really tough. But you just keep pressing forward. You keep loving, forgiving, and not anchoring to the past, not living in the past, and all of a sudden you can start building a better present and a better future. So my message for you guys today is I hope that you'll take some time to listen to this talk. It is fantastic. It's called It's All Good by Joel Osteen. And I hope you pick up a couple things here, because we all have a little bit of baggage that we're holding on to. And I would just say, man, let it go. It's going to serve you better to let it go. It serves those other people, even though they may not even realize it, to let it go. And God or the universe, however you look at it, will balance things out in the long run for people that wrong you or what have you. So just put it in the hands of someone bigger than you, and you just worry about living in the present, being kind and forgiving and moving forward. Dr. Shetlin, that's my positive thought for today. Have a great day.